A major national task force of federal intelligence and law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, the CIA, U.S. Marshals, the Immigration and Naturalization Service, Customs, the Coast Guard, etc., 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 will join with local and state police in massive roundups to haul in lists of suspects who will fill these improvised stockades. Your only hope is Yahweh. The first roundup, which is your signal, and the publicly announced one, is of illegal aliens and refugees.
This is part one of concentration camps.
Now, the main reason I called you together tonight, from Homestead, Fort Lauderdale especially, is a very important revelation. It's earth-shaking. It clearly means that the civil liberties of all people in America have now been taken away. All civil liberties of all people of every color have now been officially, legally as they say, taken completely away. We're now living in a totalitarian state, a complete police state. It is now complete. There are those of you who do not know what this means, and I'm going to make it very clear to you right now. Anyone who is without this knowledge leaves yourself open to be terribly destroyed. The dark-skinned people of America's only hope is Yahweh. I'm saying not only the so-called black men of America, but all people with dark skin, whether they be Chinese, Japanese, Korean or otherwise, Mexican or otherwise, all dark-skinned people are in imminent danger. As of this minute, you will not hear any other so-called black leader in America standing up teaching you what I am revealing to you tonight. In the first place, none of them know. They will only know after tonight. This is the fulfillment of John 16:13, that I will truly reveal to you and show you all things coming. Surely the Lord God Yahweh doeth nothing except he reveal his secrets unto his servants. Amos 3:7. Yahweh has revealed it, made it known to me. It is an absolute governmental secret. There is no way that I can know what I'm telling you tonight. It is impossible, according to the Pentagon, the military, and the government of America, for me to know what I'm telling you tonight. Yet, I'm going to give you all the facts. Praise Yahweh. And the subject is, and I didn't write these headlines, America orders concentration camps for blacks. America orders concentration camps for all dark-skinned people. Wake up and remember Yahweh, all dark-skinned people of America. The minority white people have some terrible plans. Mass detention facilities, otherwise known as concentration camps, are being set up at a number of major U.S. military installations on the secret orders of the White House. Hear what I said? These are secret orders. This is not something that they are talking about setting up in the future. King Alfred and the choice is now in effect. You don't hear me, do you? King Alfred, that's in the yellow book in the back, and the choice is now in effect. We have learned that on April the 5th, 1984, this month, the White House issued a secret, highly classified National Security Decision Directive. Notice I'm quoting it like it is. I said a National Security Decision Directive which sets forth urgent instructions for the activation of 10 huge prison camps at key defense commands located across America. And if the fear of Yahweh does not enter your heart, you are insane. I am not warning you about what is coming. I'm telling you what is. It's coming because you don't see the full evidence yet, but I'm going to show you the evidence in a moment. You've seen the evidence and don't even know it. Oh, you've seen it and heard it and don't even know it. And you're supposed to be wide awake. And so you know that my mentally dead people definitely don't see. They already have 500,000, 1/2 million young black brothers between the ages of 18 and 25 already locked away in the prisons of America to keep them from fighting against the devil in what they consider the inevitable black and white race war which they look to initiate at any time. You know where the paramilitary groups have been training whites, Ku Klux Klan and National Rifles Association and all these folk. And you know how white people in the military, National Guard, and police forces have been doing riot training? Perhaps you don't know about that. You ought to. They know what you don't know. That's why they're preparing for it. Because they're the ones in charge of making these things happen. I said urgent instructions for the present activation. In other words, when you read King Alfred and the choice, it was projected as something that could happen in the event of an emergency. It is no longer, as of April the 5th, this month, it is no longer something that is being projected in the future that might occur. It is being activated. That means they all are being fixed up, barbed wire tightened. All the plans to collect our people around the country is being made, all dark-skinned people, is being made to put you in concentration camps. Is already set, is already started. They're fixing up 10 huge prison camps. Now, this minute, since then, The minority white man of America plans to pick off dark-skinned ethnic groups one at a time under different pretexts. It has been revealed that preparations are being set in motion for an unprecedented roundup of so-called aliens and security suspects from coast to coast. The trick and pretended primary goal of this vast police operation, code-named Rex 84, R-E-X 84. I checked today, and my black police officers in the highest rankings across the country have no idea about this law. They're going to call you in. They're either going to fire you, they'll be firing you around the country, or they're going to call you in and ask for your weapon. They're going to ask for your badge and your weapon. It's already starting to happen. You think it's just an isolated incident. They have already started. They've already been attacking every black public official nationwide, busted him from their offices, whether he's a judge, a senator, a commissioner, or whatever he is. They are under attack, being busted out, set up for crimes. They create a crime and induce you to fall into the trap with television. The code name is REX 84. This vast police operation is to detain and deport illegal immigrants. Did you notice on television this week where the police and immigration officials in California did a sweep on some manufacturing plants and put all Mexicans under arrest in the plant and made them produce ID. Those that did not produce ID that they considered sufficient, they took them away. You never wonder. They don't have any jail. Jail's already overcrowded. Where you think they took them to school? Those in California went to one of the California detention camps. I'm going to tell you why they're doing it all in a minute. Be patient. They use the media to get your sympathy by saying these people are taking your jobs. The minority gets your sympathy through the white-controlled one-world government press by telling you they are taking your jobs. Remember, we are here illegally. They captured us and brought us here. We've never been citizens. They have a voting rights bill amendment for you, and they have to vote on it every so often for you to be able to vote. You're not a citizen. They call you second-class citizens. You're either a citizen or you are not. You better listen. Oh, my people. Our great, good, and terrible black God Yahweh says, wake up and arise and hear the words of Yahweh and live. Rex 84 has another, even more closely guarded and carefully orchestrated secret objective: to apply the so-called CNC. How many know what CNC means? It means capture and custody. To apply the so-called CNC capture and custody measures against political opponents. That means anybody that's a politician that talks against the Republican or Democratic Party is going to be rounded up. All resistors, tax resistors, army resistors will be rounded up. outspoken critics of America, whom the white minority considers dangerous, will be picked up. They're starting to do it. Anybody he just thinks in his mind is dangerous to his rulership, he's going to pick up. I'm on a mission waking up my people, and this is the acceptable year of the Lord Yahweh. Perhaps this law that I'm bringing out to you now will tell you why this is the year. It got to be the year. With what's coming down after the election, you'll see all this going down. See, all dark-skinned people are dangerous to white rulership. How many understand that? If your skin is dark, white folk consider you dangerous. They have been playing with it in Miami. Part of this, the practice is called sweep. Sweep law. I mean, they just come out into the neighborhood and just take all black folk on the corners and on the streets to jail. They don't care whether you're a lawyer. They have done it in Miami, and they have taken lawyers, teachers, doctors, everybody. Whoever's out on the street caught, you go to jail. And you got to prove you're not a wanted criminal. How many know about that here? They have pulled it off several times this past year in Miami. They have laws that they're practicing in many cities of America called stop, frisk, search, don't need a reason. You look suspicious. You better wake up. This is no laughing matter. At present, the 4 principal civilian concentration camps to be established under the Rex 84 program, get this down, are to be located at Fort Chaffee, Arkansas, Fort Drum, New York, Fort Indian Gap, Pennsylvania, and at Camp A.P. Hill in Virginia. Each one of these camps is being laid out to hold 25,000 civilian prisoners under the guard of American troops, not even under the guard of police officers. We must wake up now and remember that means that they will use the blacks in the military only so long as they remain dead. And the blacks in the military will be happy to go help round up Mexicans. They'll be happy to go help round up Japanese. The blacks will be happy to go help round up Hispanics. And when the white man has eliminated all the ethnic groups, then he will call the blacks in one by one across the country and take their weapons under a pretext of cleaning them and making a new issue and put all of them in the last camp. And they will call in all police officers and do the same that are black on the force. It's in the memos. We've gotten this information from the Freedom of Information Act, but not what I'm giving you tonight. This you can't get under no kind of act. What I'm giving you tonight, you can't get under no act. It is time for you to wake up, my people. The minority white people can only pull this off if you remain ignorant. If you remain ignorant, you better fly to Yahweh. Additional emergency custodial facilities are being rented at Oakdale, California, at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California, at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California, at Fort McCoy in Wisconsin, at Fort Benning, Georgia, Fort Huachuca, Arizona.
Please turn to Side 2.
And finally, at the Southern Justice Department Detention and Interrogation Center, known as Camp Chrome, near Miami. A major national task force of federal intelligence and law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, the CIA, U.S. Marshals, the Immigration and Naturalization Service, Customs, the Coast Guard, etc., 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 will join with local and state police in massive roundups to haul in lists of suspects who will fill these improvised stockades. Your only hope is Yahweh. The first roundup, which is your signal, and the publicly announced one, is of illegal aliens and refugees. Remember how they did the Haitians here? You're all on the list, every one of you. But under the secret provisions of Rex 84, there will be also broad arrests of security suspects who can be held in these centers under this emergency order, whether they are U.S. citizens or not. That means the white man is in trouble too. All white people who speak out against the way this government has turned from the Constitution is on the list. The white man is now a definite minority in America. This is the reason he's taking these moves, is because he is a definite minority. He has turned psychologically around, he's turned things around psychologically and has out dumb people calling themselves a minority. Now let me give you the facts. There's 200 million people in America, according to the white man. 50 million of them are you and me, the so-called black man of America. That's 25%. 100 million are dark-skinned people. And 25 million are white. And there are 10 black people for every one white person on the planet Earth. This knowledge he does not want you, my people, to have. What I have just said to you, he doesn't want you to have. The dark-skinned people are the majority in America. Now, if you don't believe it, first you must remember that the white man can only rule through divide and conquer. Dark-skinned people are the clear majority. America is a melting pot of Chinese, Japanese, Indians, both native and from India, Arabs, Mexicans, Hispanics, Orientals, Vietnamese, Koreans, Iranians, Haitians, Caribbean islands, dark Cubans, South Americans, Africans, the so-called blacks of America, to name a few. The few are the majority. The white man plans to pick you off one by one, whether you are a U.S. citizen or not. And the white man has planned genocide for you. Genocide means to kill you after he rounds you up. The Hitler death camps was a nice little party in light of what the white man plans for dark-skinned people in America. He has placed atomic warheads surrounding all black countries on the earth, and he is trying to hold them off with the threat of nuclear annihilation. But my dark-skinned people on the earth are beginning to kill them in their embassies. And different blacks are deciding to sacrifice their individual life to kill 10, 100, or 200 whites at once by just walking in among them and blowing himself up. And in the meantime, the white man has already started by picking up the black Mexicans first, because they will fight first. They're the last ones to come in, so they have not become brainwashed and become Americanized. They came across the border by the hundreds of thousands and millions looking for jobs, but they still are black people and have Mexican thoughts. They are nationalists. They are nationalists. Mexico first, but they're here for jobs. So they will fight that devil if he comes at them other than through the trick of illegal. So the white man hurried up and passed laws saying all the Cubans, you can stay legally, but you Haitians can't, though you came at the same time. That's so the Cubans, who are mostly white anyway, won't join in the fight with his other Spanish-speaking so-called brother. Divide and rule, you see. Divide and conquer. How many can see the picture? The white man speaks of the black majority as backward people or developing countries or third world countries, and encourages you to kill off your future by birth control, while white women are taking fertility pills to have litters of babies like a dog. Come to Yahweh. The truth will set you free. Whomever the white man suspects of belonging to so-called violence-prone groups, and all he does is he come in the paper and say this group is violent-prone. All he has to do is say it in the paper. All so-called violence-prone groups are supporters of the United States Constitution, or those who vote for justice. I think that includes most black folk who are on the voting roll, may find themselves hauled in with crowds of so-called illegal immigrants if the white man finds them dangerous. There's no criteria for finding you dangerous. It's just if he says you're dangerous. Or if he says your group is dangerous. 6,000 years of history proves that all dark-skinned people are dangerous to white rule. Suspected or potential terrorists. Ever heard that word lately? Becoming a daily word, isn't it? They set the situation up in London. They've been trying to get at Gaddafi for a long time. The British government gave those who were students whom they have brainwashed permission and brought the police as an escort to the students who were against Gaddafi to demonstrate at the embassy of the Libyans. And then some shots rang out that nobody know where they came from. But the white folk claim it came from inside the embassy. And even Nightline last night playing the game about terrorists, getting down on terrorists. Anybody heard that lately? Conditioning the minds of the public in America. Got to stop these terrorists. So, all the white man has to do now is suspected or potential terrorists or whomever, potential. Goodness knows what that means. That's just anybody. Anyone they consider a subversive and draft resistors may eventually also find themselves caught in the broad Rex 84 net. I'm reporting this to you. I hope you can tell I am. There seems to be no constitutional or legal precedent for such a staggering mass roundup of civilians by white American authorities in peacetime. Notice this is going on in peacetime. America is not at war with Mexico. This is going on in peacetime. The law is not drafted against Mexicans. It's drafted against all people in America. What pretended criteria will be used in deciding who is dangerous and who is not? What pretended criteria? If you sit back and watch this wicked plan carried out, pretended criteria deciding who is dangerous and who is not. What pretended criteria? If you sit back and watch this wicked plan carried out, then realize that the white U.S. government assumes life and death power over all citizens without your knowledge or consent. They now assume life and death power over all citizens of America without their knowledge or consent. These reported facts that I'm giving to you tonight mean that the U.S. government is now a totalitarian police state just like Russia. Absolutely no different. I told you some time ago they just pretend to be enemies. They have black people in the cross between a rock and a hard place. You either go with Russia or you go with America, and both are white. Anybody get the trick now? See, both are white. And they sell you some outdated weapons that start a fight between you and your brother, and you and your own dark-skinned people like Iran and Iraq, who are both Muslims, say they believe in the same God. They're killing each other like flies. The more than they kill each other, that's the less dark-skinned people white folk have to fight. Anybody understand the mystery? Any president can now use FEMA to seize control of the entire U.S. government by declaring, get this, by declaring a secret crisis that exists only on his say-so. It doesn't have to go in the paper. They don't have to announce it on the radio. It's just a secret crisis in the White House on his say-so. And they can move every black congressman, every government official white, no matter what color he is. Move him out. And they will move him out. And the president could be a communist or antichrist. Because the Messiah is in this country. And they plan to put him back in. And the Messiah is still in the country. So he could be communist or antichrist. He certainly will not be in my favor. Anti-Yahweh. Antichrist means anti-Yahweh. We now, and they know, the majority of our people in America are now saying Yahweh. Wherever they send black spies, our people are saying Yahweh all across the country. Wherever they send their black intelligence gathering agents, they have found our people saying, yes, I know Yahweh is God, and I like that. And then they read our literature, which says over 5 million readers. And you think white folks can stand over 5 million people in sympathy with our great, good, and terrible black God, Yahweh? You think they can stand that? Anybody getting the picture? He can declare a secret crisis only on his say-so. Doesn't require nobody to agree with him. He can just have a bad dream one night and declare a secret crisis. And everything I've taught you thus far will come to pass. And that's not funny. To be rounded up and thrown in a fiery furnace is not funny. To be rounded up and thrown in the lion's den is not funny. You thought that was a story from the past. We're facing that now. They say, bow down and worship us as white people, as God, or we are going to throw you in the lion's den or throw you in the fiery furnace. Oh, but in throwing us in the fiery furnace, I'm so glad that when they threw the 3 Hebrew boys in, that they looked around and found one like the Son of Man in the middle of them, standing the flame. Praise Yahweh. And I do make a difference. In their efforts to keep us in America against the will of Yahweh, in order to keep us in America, which is against the will of Yahweh, all white people have now lost their freedom. You didn't hear that, did you? I said, in their efforts to keep us in America, which is against the will of Yahweh, now all white people have lost their freedom. So now for the first time, you have another scripture you can see is now fulfilled. Revelation 13:10. Come on, turn. Revelation 13:10 is now fulfilled. It's not going to come later. It is now fulfilled. They were looking for you and me to put them in captivity. But their own white brother has put them in captivity trying to hold us in. And they're still going to have to give us up, but they'll remain in captivity. Read.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Hallelujah, Yahweh. Now they have led us into captivity. And they've been sitting around waiting on us to come up like we want to grab them and put them in captivity. But now Yahweh has maneuvered them in their desire to hold us in America. Now the white man has lost his own freedom. He's led into captivity with the law that he wrote. He has written himself into captivity. He's in it, though he may not know it yet, but he will know it.